ready now.
Resident Evil's resurgence in the 8th generation has been nothing short of marvellous. After struggling with identity changes for several entries, Capcom have seemingly found a happy medium with the mechanics of RE4's action phase and the slower paced survival horror of the earlier installments. RE2's 2019 remake was a critical and commercial success, in contention for many Game of the Year awards, and with Capcom simultaneously developing RE3's remake at the same time, it's been just over a year, and Nemesis has already struck. However, the critical reaction this time around has been more measured. Not bad, far from it, but nowhere near the highs of RE2. One common criticism has been brought up repeatedly, which has created a lot of discussion between critics and die-hard fans of the series: length. Resident Evil 3 Remake takes 6 hours to finish, and this has caused quite a divide between gamers. In an era where 100+ hour sandboxes often earn priority over shorter experiences, either due to changing expectations or financial hardships limiting what games can buy, the split between GameSpot's 6 out of 10 and IGN's 9 out of 10 is quite a chasm, likely exacerbated by the cutting of content from the original. Yet, in the context of the original games, it may be closer to the norm than you think. Looking at the history of Resident Evil shows this 6 hour length isn't really an exception, but the rule. Most entries sit around the 8 hour mark, even the lauded RE2R, which in fairness did get a quiet slew of complaints for being short. The point is, classic Resident Evil games have typically always been short. But if you dig deeper, is there more to this issue than simple numbers? So you're probably wondering, why does this series, bar the most recent entry, seemingly get a pass when, for example, The Order 1886 was heavily criticised for being short? The answer is replay value. Let's travel back to 1996. Yes, Resident Evil can be completed within 7 hours, and if you're inclined, this could be the end. But you would merely be scratching the surface. At the beginning, you can choose between 2 characters, which in itself drastically changes the game. Jill can hold more items, bypass certain areas with her trusty lockpick, and receive assistance from Barry, such as when acquiring the shotgun. While Chris can take more damage, he has 2 fewer inventory spaces, and requires further exploration due to the lack of a lockpick. Playing through both essentially doubles your playtime. That's not including earning 4 endings, which vary depending on who you are able to rescue during the course of the story, unlocking the infinite ammo rocket launcher by beating the game in under 3 hours, and the slew of outfits earned through getting the best ending. This is only expanded with subsequent re-releases, which added further content to the game, giving the original Resident Evil considerable legs to stand on. Resident Evil 2 built on this concept further. Claire or Leon can be selected, with more evenly matched difficulty and length this time. But thanks to the scenarios, you'll need 4 playthroughs to see the whole story. Whoever you choose first is the A scenario, while the second playthrough as the other character is their B scenario. and it changes where you go, what special scenes you can see, and unlocks even more modes, such as the Fourth Survivor and Tofu Survivor. So, although an initial run can last less than 6 hours, this can essentially be quadrupled, and that doesn't factor in the subsidiary modes that can add even more to the play count. I would argue that Resident Evil 2, while not the longest game certainly, has some of the best replay value for its time. Nemesis is where things get muddied somewhat. With only a singular campaign revolving around Jill Valentine, it seems incredibly limited compared to its predecessors. But the key tenets of replay value are present, as completing the game up to 8 times rewards special epilogues which divulge info about the various characters pivotal to the outbreak. Multiple endings are also rewarded depending on which choices you make during your confrontations with Nemesis. Mercenaries would make its debut too, a time challenge mode so beloved that it would become a staple of the series, even earning a spin-off game on the 3DS. It's definitely diverging from the template set by the 2 previous games, but Capcom still made the best use of the content present, encouraging multiple playthroughs. This brevity across the first 3 entries is necessary. Resident Evil's classical survival horror encourages return visits with brisk yet exciting campaigns that often leave you wanting to jump straight back in, and Capcom reward this impulse with extra story content, unlockable modes which test your skills, and a satisfying ranking system which rewards efficiency, evasion skills, and your use of healing items. The brevity of these campaigns encourages memorization, practice, and retries to earn the best rankings, unlock the most useful items, and feel immense satisfaction, creating an immensely rewarding cycle which keeps you going way beyond a single run. This, arguably, would be diminished if you needed to spend dozens of hours each time to beat the game. Post-Nemesis, things would start to change. Perhaps the most interesting exception in Capcom's classical survival horror run is Code Veronica, which takes 12 hours to beat on a first playthrough, almost double that of any previous entry. This seems detrimental, yet it falls in line with Code Veronica's steeper challenge, testing your abilities for a longer stretch of time, and a plethora of extras encourages even more play. The 2 GameCube entries, Remake and Zero, were slightly longer than the norm, though closer to the lengths established in the games prior to Code Veronica. The action phase of Resident Evil ballooned in length, with the controversial 6th entry taking 20 hours with all of its campaigns combined. It would only be the 7th installment that things would seemingly return to norm, with a rough length of around 6 hours, extended by unlockable difficulties and extra modes. And RE2's remake, naturally, would last around the same length of other traditional horror.
Alright, let me grab my...
Bringing things back to Resident Evil 3's remake, it's easy to see why there's such a divide. Fans who started with the classic REs would likely see its short length as the norm, while others who either grew up with the action-heavy games, or those steaming over the controversial cutting of content, would perhaps feel shortchanged. Whichever side you sit on, Resident Evil 3 Remake does have replay value. Upon your first completion, a shop opens with a slew of unlockables, ranging from cosmetic to gameplay changing. There's more than 50 challenges available, such as completing the game without opening the item box. There is no way you can earn everything in a single run, meaning brevity is necessary to keep return playthroughs enticing. After 6 playthroughs and 20 plus hours, I was still satisfied and enjoyed my time with Resident Evil 3 Remake, and in my eyes, It's replay value done right.